snooze, I don't know, 10 times, but it's because I set about 3 alarms, like almost back to back to back. It's just so dumb because then my alarm is going off like every 2 minutes, basically, so I just keep hitting snooze. But there's a new survey out there, and it found that the average American hits snooze twice and takes an extra 24 minutes to get out of bed.
Well,
That makes sense, I guess.
if you, obviously, you're setting your alarm 25 minutes earlier than you should, or have to, then you hit snooze
Right, you're
twice.
factoring in the snooze.
Yes.
Right.
But the snooze is
I've never
such a...
actually read it. Like, do sleep experts say that that's a good thing or a bad thing? Like,
I don't think it's good. I do remember reading an article at one point in time years ago, and I can't remember exactly what it said, but I think that the snooze plays with your body's internal clock, kind of, and it's not good to hit it so many times.
How can it be good? How can it even be, forgetting about health-wise, how can it be good mentally? I mean, you're in that dream, whether it's a good dream or a bad dream, and all of a sudden the alarm goes off, and then you hit it, and then you fell back asleep or whatever, you know? I mean, that dream was not coming back usually, so then you get into another dream that before it even gets going, and then the next snooze goes. It's like, no.
It's not quite like that, though, Stoney. Like, I typically actually wake up before any of my alarms go off in the first place. Like, I just usually know my body just tells me to wake up. I wait for my alarm, I hit snooze. It's like a very slow process for me to get out of bed. But, Stoney, you don't hit snooze at all?
No.
You just pop right up?
No, my alarm is pretty loud, and I don't want it to go off again, so my wife...
it's very
Good for you.
true. Yeah.
Also...
It's not about the dreams, it's about, like, the luxury of that 10 minutes. It's a very luxurious sleep, yeah.
It really is. It really is. Also, the average person sets 2 different alarms each day. Only 1 in 4 people still use a traditional alarm clock. And 52% of people would prefer if their parent could still wake them up every single day.
I don't want that. I was late for the show twice in the first year or 2 that Stoney and I were on the air together. And since that time, I've always set 2 alarms. And it's never happened since.
How did your parents wake you up when you were young?
I don't
I don't know, sometimes it'd be like rise and shine or something like that.
My father, and I sleep through everything, but for some reason, you know, there's a sound that you associate with it. He wouldn't like yell or anything like that. He'd go, psh, you know, psh. Something when he was thinking of me, go, I'd hear that, psh, and I would hear that, and I know what time to get up.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember. My mom had different sayings she would say to me. Like, wake up and pee, the world's on fire. That was one of them.
Really?
Wake up and pee, the world's on fire.
Fire.
Wake up and pee, the world's on fire. Okay, look at you.
I think that came from my grandpa, so yeah.
All right, Heather, it is 7:31. Coming up next, the greatest Michigan sports debates ever. We'll get into those next on 97 on the Table.
Sales department is now open. You can buy a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram truck with 0% interest for up to 84 months, plus no payments for 3 months.
Tigers Talk, brought to you by Northville Lumber. Here's Dan Dickerson.
After beating the Yankees in the division series, the Tigers headed to Oakland to face the A's, who had swept the Twins in their first round, and at that point were the hottest team in baseball. That mattered little, though, to the Tigers, who took Game 1 behind a strong start from Nate Robertson, and then Game 2 behind Alexis Gomez's hot bat. Gomez, who had finished his career with 1 home run in parts of 4 major league seasons, hit a home run and drove in 4 in an 8-5 win. After another great start from Kenny Rogers, who had finished the postseason with 23 scoreless innings at work, the Tigers completed the sweep the next night with a memory of all memories, the Miguel Ordonez walk-off home run. As memorable as the first 2 rounds were, the World Series was just as forgettable. A 5-game loss to the St. Louis Cardinals. But think of all the 2006 Tigers had accomplished, bringing winning baseball back to Detroit just 3 years after losing 119 games, creating a lifetime full of memories, reintroducing the world to a one-of-a-kind manager, he created stars, and touched off an 11-year stretch of rates remain near historic lows. If you think that now is the right time to refinance your mortgage, our home loan experts are available to help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at rocketmortgage.com.
For cost information and conditions, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSConsumerAccess.org, number 33.
In my tasty honey nut Cheerios? Siri, you trying to tell me you love me?
Actually, it's reminding you that it can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart healthy diet.
They can help lower cholesterol? I've been so focused on the sweet, tasty taste that I completely forgot. Now I love heart healthy.
Learn more about making honey nut Cheerios part of your heart healthy lifestyle by picking up a box at your local grocery store.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Michael Carl's National Benefit Plan. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbthealth.com.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
It's Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket. 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. We spent the better part of the last 4 months debating whether or not the Lions should have drafted Tua Tagovailoa. Stoney, I checked the draft report from last week. They did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That rivalry or that debate will probably, well, I won't say it'll never go away, but we'll see what happens with Tua in Miami, and obviously if his career takes off. The debate will come back again, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It will rage on.
You know, Tua, you know, he could be their, Luke Kennard. Hopefully he won't.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully everything will be great and he'll be a great player and who knows about Tua. But it was weird because you mentioned debates. I saw on ESPN.com yesterday that they did a thing for Major League Baseball, the greatest debates for every team. And
Like all time or what?
yeah, all time debates for every team. And for instance, on the Detroit Tigers, it says Miguel Cabrera winning the triple. Hey, Miguel Cabrera. Did Miguel Cabrera deserve to win the MVP over Mike Trout?
It was year 2012.
2012. This and also 2013, particularly the Triple Crown season. And they say, of course, Miguel Cabrera shouldn't have been the MVP. He led the league in 3 offensive stats. That history and culture have determined to add up to something very special when won simultaneously, but he wasn't more valuable than Mike Trout. And the guy, basically, his name's Sam Miller, is not poo-pooing the Triple Crown. Says it's an incredible feat. But the biggest mistake any Tiger fans or Cabrera fans made was coupling the two. All they did was make the Triple Crown look subservient, which for 44 years every baseball fan alive had known with wholehearted conviction it was not. So basically saying winning the Triple Crown was great, but it's not a reason why somebody should be the MVP. And
Okay.
and that way it was a big debate. I just, they brought in, war and things like that. My take on that was, well, there's a difference between MVP and, Player of the Year. Trout maybe you could say Player of the Year, but they didn't make the playoffs that year, did they?
No, but they did win more games than the Tigers did.
Okay. Well,
Whatever. I don't know.
but it's a good debate.
It was a great debate, and I wouldn't say it's the greatest debate in Detroit Tiger history because most Tiger fans think Miguel Cabrera should have been the MVP.
True.
It was not exactly a 50-50. I probably would have voted for Mike Trout that year, but I know a lot of people would have voted for Miguel Cabrera. That was always the problem with that debate, is that it got so ridiculous that people were talking down the opposing candidate, when both were incredibly worthy for the honor.
For your team, the Giants, the debate is, were the even year Giants a dynasty? They won 3 straight years, 3 straight even years.
Yeah, I don't know. I never know what a dynasty really is. I have no idea. The team that won in 2010 versus the team that won in 2014 changed a lot, other than obviously Bumgarner, Kane, and Posey, but whatever. So what are the greatest debates in Detroit sports history? The ones that, if in the middle of the summer you could bring up, and 485399797. You know you're going to get 10 lines going with pretty much 5 on each side.
Here's one that I thought of, and now I don't know if you could get 5 on each side. Should the Lions have fired Jim Clark?
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Because now the debate is not should the Lions have fired Jim Caldwell and hired Matt Patricia. That's a different story, because I think basically the body of work and the record says no, that's obviously they should have kept Jim Caldwell. But I believe it was the right move, because I believe, just like some coaches, managers, Jim Caldwell took the team to a certain level, and in my opinion, would not be able to go to the next level. And that's why you make that change. Similarly to what Joe Dumars did with Rick Carlisle. He didn't think that, Larry Brown was available. He didn't think Carlisle could take it to the next level. Wasn't that much of a knock on Jim Caldwell. Now, they hired, it looks like, the wrong guy. We'll find out for sure this year. But so, like if you debated that today, obviously Caldwell versus Patricia, advantage Caldwell. But should they have fired Jim Caldwell?
Okay. Well, as long as we're talking about the Lions, I think, and maybe this is the biggest one in Lions history, certainly has been the biggest one for the last 8 or 9 years, and that is quite simply, is Matthew Stafford the problem or isn't he? Because you're going to get half the people saying he's the problem, you're going to get half the people saying he's not the problem, and then you're going to get the other half of the people, see what I did there? I just said 3 halves.
Yes, exactly.
Saying it's too simplistic to boil it down to the... I mean, I think you and I agree on this. Matthew Stafford's a very good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He is not Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes, but he's also not, what's that?
Bortles, Dalton.
Yeah, Trubisky. I mean, he is a very good quarterback. Yes, he should have done more. He could have done more. We all wish he had done more, and he hasn't. But I don't view him as the problem here in Detroit, the way some people do.
No, that's a very good. 248-539-9797. 97136 is the ticket text. The best debates you could have as far as Detroit sports history.
Fire Charlie.
Charlie, the hot dog guy?
No, Charlie Batch or Ty Detman.
Oh, I think he said fire Charlie.
No, Ty or
Ty
Charlie.
or Charlie.
Yeah, no, everybody agreed they should fire Charlie. Nobody liked Charlie. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but people were so sick of that singing hot dog vendor. No, Ty or Charlie.
Well,
Come on.
Actually, one of the great debates was shown last night. Did JT make the first down? I mean, there it is. That's a debatable issue, obviously.
Debatable issue. Most Michigan fans feel that he did not.
Right.
Most Michigan State fans feel that he did.
Exactly.
Right.
Did Michigan get hosed by Spartan? Same thing.
Yes. Yeah.
That's definitely a debate.
That's a great debate because Michigan State fans, I'll never forget. So the next night after Spartan Bob game, I went into Channel 2 to do a little roundtable show. This in 2001. And Ryan Field, who now, of course, is head sports anchor at ABC News in New York City, noted Spartan enthusiast. He had slowed down the tape in such a way so that when the clock started on that second to last play, to the point where Smoker downed the ball, and the moment the ball hits the turf, excuse me, he stopped the clock and he determined there was like 0.2 seconds remaining or something like that, which I said was a bunch of crap because you don't stop the clock the moment the ball hits the turf. You stop the clock when the referee signals it's time to stop the clock.
Correct.
Spartan Bob should be looking at the ball, should be looking at the officials, but whatever.
Well, I'll tell you that there's one, a similar one that actually I think Michigan State fans actually would agree with Michigan fans on, and that was Desmond trip to the end zone.
I think there's some Michigan State fans who view that as a great defensive play.
But how can you? I mean, you can argue and say he tripped over himself, basically. It wasn't interference because he just happened to trip on his own. But I think, if you have, vision, you can see that there was a penalty there. All
What
right.
about this one, Stoney? What about the legacy of Joe Dumars?
Pretty much similar to Ken Holland, too. They're very similar, right?
Yeah. It was just funny watching that game the other night. They showed Game 5, and you saw Mike Tirico interviewing Joe Dumars chip on their shoulder. He basically proved to the rest of the NBA that you can win it in an unconventional way. Nobody's done it since. Nobody did it before, nobody's done it since. And yet, I still feel like there's negative ties to Joe Dumars here, and I feel like we need to get over this.
True, that's because he did a bad job his last, 5-6 years that he was the general manager of the team. That's
He did, but there was also part of that there were forces going against him after the passing of Bill Davidson that he just couldn't control.
By the way, Jake, I mentioned that yesterday people who were at that game were no longer with us. Kobe Bryant, Aretha Franklin, who's my buddy Matt Dilbeck, and then it's Stuart Scott, David Stern. There was a shot. Charles Rogers was at that game.
Oh my goodness.
And he's no longer with us. And there was something else in that game that Greg pointed out to me this morning that he saw watching that game. Right? It was a sign. Go ahead, put on the microphone. You don't need your headphones for this. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, thanks, Tony. Now I'm going to get the 5 points.
No, you're not.
Not to get political. No, but this was in the age of The Apprentice was starting to be really big, and there was how they'd have those quick little cutaways to fans? There was a cutaway to a fan with a sign with Donald Trump's picture on it saying, "Lakers, you're fired." So not to get political, but fast forward 60 years later.
I think that's great.
That was the year that The Apprentice started, because I remember my first daughter was born, and Chris and I were watching a lot of TV when the baby was napping, and we started. The Apprentice was a great show.
Yes.
So that was 2004 was the first show of The Apprentice. All right, 746, greatest debates in Detroit sports history. What's your personal favorite? 248-539-9797.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ EM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by UHY Certified Public Accountants. Accident-free on your drive this morning, but traffic is starting to slow down on 94 westbound near the Lodge Freeway. That's due to road work between Trumbull and Warren Avenue, where only the right lane is available on Sunday. The Main Street Lending Program is designed to help middle-market businesses affected by COVID-19. You may be able to apply for a Main Street loan even if you've already applied for the Paycheck Protection Program. To discuss terms and restrictions, call UHY at 586-254-1040. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
August 29th, 2013, the Detroit Tigers host the Oakland A's. Hear baseball history again. Brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Sunday night at 6 on 97.1 The Ticket.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Radio.com Sports Minute. Normally, we'd be talking about the Kentucky Derby, but COVID-19 has pushed the Run for the Roses back to Labor Day weekend. Meantime, tomorrow there will be a virtual derby featuring computer